People have lost touch with who they are. They don't act according to who they want to be, but who others need them to be. AKA, they don't create their own reality. Instead, they wait to be assigned one by their friends, family, and educational system. This results in losing the ability to think for themselves. For my entire life, I've been super self-conscious about my forehead. I would look in the mirror, it would stick out like a sore thumb. I would hide it at every single opportunity I had. Like, I would put my hair in front of my forehead, so I would like have a fringe, that super long hair. So due to that, I had low self-confidence, I had a low self-esteem, and I just had a low quality of well-being. I didn't feel good in my own body. So what did I do? I shaved my head. All this just to say that something so small can have such a big impact on your entire life. And that's what I want to touch on in this video. Life is an infinite game that can be played from any angle, and your mind needs goals to be able to frame your experience and narrow down the possibilities of action to give you clarity in chaos. The issue here is most have gotten stuck on smaller compartments of the game, and they forgot that there is a bigger infinite game that they are playing. And for example, my forehead, I was so stuck up on that for years and years and years, which is one small compartment of this big infinite game. Other examples would be people get stuck on a conversation, an argument they had with their spouse, or they get mad in traffic, or they get addicted to a substance and see it as the only way. And all of this limits your perception, and you just focus on one small compartment and you think this is the entire reality of things, when the entire reality of things is the infinite game with infinite possibilities. You feel bad because your future self is watching your every move and he doesn't like what he sees. You know there is more to life. You know you shouldn't procrastinate, and you know you shouldn't binge that TV series until 5 in the morning because you have work the next day or because you want to work on your dreams. But you still do it because your identity has merged with that action over the years and years of doing it. This destroys any possibility of well-being. Confidence is birthed when you trust yourself to be in the unknown. You trust yourself in a situation where you're not familiar with the potential outcomes. That's where the magic happens. Doing the things that you don't want to do, doing the things that you don't know how to do, and doing the things that you don't usually do. In other words, expanding your own library of experiences and expanding your sense of self. How you perceive yourself is defined by what occupies your mental estate. Your mental estate is the accumulation of thoughts, beliefs, ideas, knowledge, experiences, everything you've ever heard or experienced, all intertwines between one another to create this very deep sense of self and this deep sense of reality. Okay, so why am I saying all this? Why does this matter to you and your self-esteem and your confidence? Because what you allow to enter this mental estate defines the quality of your entire life. The news, social media, your friends, family, your Aunt Mary, you let them all in without question. You consume without thinking of the consequences of consuming that idea. If you think back to what we just said on the mental estate, your own perception of self, your entire perception of reality is constructed by thoughts, beliefs, ideas, everything that comes into your mind. This means your confidence, your well-being, and the quality of anything you output into this world is defined and affected by what you consume and let in. And this concept of the mental estate isn't something to take lightly. We are literally speaking about your own perception of reality right now. Consumption goes into ideas, thoughts, beliefs. Those go into you and your sense of reality. That sense of reality creates and births decisions based on the beliefs, ideas, and thoughts you have, and those decisions define the quality of your life. Because all your life is a certain set of decisions that brought you to where you are. I want you to imagine two possibilities right now. On one side, you have a very fine estate. By estate, I mean those big houses. On one side, you have the very fine estate, gold cutlery, you have a butler, you have your favorite cars in the garage, you have a specific room for art if you're an artist, a specific room for music if you're a musician, a specific room for gaming if you're a gamer. You have your ideal estate, your ideal house with every single thing you would want and every single thing you would ever need. Your identity would shift to that. You would be in a very calm state of well-being, of non-scarcity, of abundance. And on the other side, you have this broken down estate full of hobos and crackheads. The windows are all broken. There's kind of sheets like in those horror movies or whatsoever. People are eating out the floor. It's just very dirty. You don't feel safe. And same here, your identity would bind with that, and you would act and make decisions according to that. I want you to think of these metaphorically right now and not logically. These are analogies and metaphors for what your mind is. Your mind is this estate, and what is inside your mind defines the quality of that estate. Just in this case, instead of gold plates and butlers and nice cars, it's your thoughts, ideas, and beliefs. And same on the other side with the crackheads, hobos, and whatsoever. So to recap, the moment you pay any conscious attention to a specific idea, you let that idea into your mind. Do you see the importance of this? This is the root cause of well-being or non-well-being, or confidence or unconfidence. It is the root cause of your entire life. It's what defines your decisions, your beliefs, your ideologies, the way you see reality itself. Hence the danger of cheap dopamine. Cheap dopamine tries to steal your attention. It does pollute your mind. When you're scrolling on TikTok for hours and hours and hours on end, random videos, every single one of those ideas is entering your mind, affecting the way you see reality itself. And this isn't just for TikTok. This is Netflix. This is movies. This is your friends, your families. This is anything you could ever consume. If you're not paying conscious attention to what you are consuming and what you are letting and allowing to occupy this mental real estate that we talked about, then you're basically unintentionally and unconsciously affecting the way that you live your life, the way you make your decisions, and the way you do everything. If you don't protect your mental real estate at all costs, your thought patterns will be stained and you'll think that's your normal state of being. Okay, so now that we really painted this point, I want to give you the solution. What is the solution? How do you stop this from happening? How do you filter the information that comes in? How do you be intentional about it all? The solution is content. Creating content is how you expand your mind. It's how you crystallize ideas into your perception of reality. Not only that, but when you outline a piece of content, you outline the main ideas, you outline what you want to create out of this piece, what you want to write about or record about, or anything along those lines. You outline a project. That outline now becomes a frame from which you perceive reality, because it becomes a project that's top of mind. It's an outline top of mind. These ideas are the main thing that your mind and your subconscious mind are thinking about. And everything you perceive, everything you experience in your day-to-day life will now relate back to this idea. And your mind, your subconscious mind, will specifically pick out the ideas and the experiences that can benefit this project that is top of mind for you. This means by outlining and creating content intentionally, you're creating a metaphorical bodyguard for your mental estate. You're creating a filter from which to perceive reality. This not only increases your quality of life, but your enjoyment of it. Content equals information, the foundation of life. Creation brings it into existence. Everyone is a content creator. Some just choose to do it with intention and get paid to do so in a place called the internet, where physical boundaries don't limit your reach and potential. Dan Coe. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, you walk out onto your balcony, it's a sunny day, you have the beach in front of your house, it's an amazing day, you feel nice, you feel confident, you feel happy. You're living your dream life. You're researching on the topics you love and you're getting paid to do so. You spend all your time from morning to night researching, expanding, and consuming new ideas and beliefs around these topics you love, around your passion, around your favorite interests. Then you go to your laptop and you share those ideas to other people who love those same interests, to thousands of like-minded people. Now, those hundreds of thousands of people have your idea that just entered their mental estate, affecting their way of speaking, acting, and making decisions. Now, they go on to create content or to speak with people, sharing your idea and spreading to millions and millions of people. What you do or say has more of an impact than you can think. This doesn't only go for content, this goes for life in general. You have a conversation with someone that changes their beliefs of reality, then when they go and speak with someone else, they are now changed from what you said. And over and over and over and over, spreading to everyone, as I said, millions of people. And creating content online supercharges that times a million, because you have reach that you cannot have with just speaking to someone one-on-one in reality. One well thought out piece of content online can reach hundreds of millions of people overnight. Yet, most do not take their content and their work seriously enough because they don't realize the impact it can have on the world. And I found this is where fulfillment and life enjoyment comes from. It's from mixing your own passions and interests with teaching and giving this value to other people. And you find this mix where there's your enjoyment and the enjoyment of others that mix and intertwine together, and this creates a life of abundance and fulfillment. And now you're probably thinking, but Ewan, I'm not a creative person. Like, I can't just create content like this, and people don't give a shit about who I am. They don't give a shit about my ideas. They're not going to listen to me. Like, I don't have any value to give. But that's bullshit. And not only is it bullshit, but isn't it worth the effort to at least try? Let me just recap the result here. You live from passion, you share your passion with others, and you live a life of complete fulfillment. Is that not worth at least trying to actualize your dream life? What else is there to do than to work on yourself and give every single living second of your existence towards actualizing your own dream life? Let's say you already have started writing content or creating content in style of videos or whatsoever, and you expected it to work in 6 months, maybe a year, and it's not. Who cares? Because this result is so big and valuable that let's say it took 2 times, 5 times, 10 times more than you expected. Would the result still not be worth it? It would. Long-term thinking with short-term action breeds confidence. You aren't happy because you take action too seriously. Yes, it's important, but you're playing the wrong game. You see it as a drag. Life is a game, and it's much more fun if you play it as your own game. So stay light and loose and relaxed. Bill Murray. I see this too often. Someone manages to push through the patience and push through the struggle, and they become a full-time creator online, or they build their business, or they manage to do something that brings them more freedom, let's say. But they didn't build it from intrinsic motivation. So even though they managed to create this business or create a better income or create this creator business, they don't actually enjoy it because they didn't pick something that had meaning to them. They just went for the outcomes. Without realizing it, they've built themselves another 9-to-5 job that they were trying to escape in the first place. Why? Because they didn't think long term, they chased the money, and they didn't follow their curiosity. And curiosity is the secret right here. Back to that objection that you said. Yeah, I'm not a creative person. I can't come up with good ideas. Think right now to one single thing in your life that you actually really enjoy. One thing that you have a lot of intrinsic motivation for. One thing that if you could wake up in the morning and directly do that and research that topic, you would do it. Or one skill that you would just love to do. Art, painting, music, dancing, anything along those lines. Every single person I know has one thing that they know they have a bit of curiosity for. Maybe you aren't passionate about it. Maybe you don't know much about the skill yet. Maybe you aren't fully invested into it yet. But you do have that spark of curiosity. Everyone has it, so don't lie to yourself. That's the spark I want you to follow. That's the spark that breeds the initial creativity and the initial boost that you need to start exploring this new potential reality. Now, you're either creating content or you're going to start creating content right after this video aligned with your vision of a dream life by following your curiosity. I want you to think on a longer time span because expectations define your enjoyment of a task. If you expect something to work in 5 months, you'll be stressed, anxious, and you'll want it to work right away. If you expect it to work in 5 years or 10 years, you'll have breathing room to stumble and fail and make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and fix those mistakes. And that's what the journey actually looks like. So having this longer term expectation of success allows you to put more authenticity and more effort into what you're doing at this current moment to actualize your dream life. This does not mean that you cannot reach your goal before the expected set time. Let's say you expand your time horizon, you expect to succeed in 5 years. Doesn't mean that you can't succeed in 1 year, but it does mean that you'll put in the correct energy to do your best work. I wrote an entire article and recorded a full video on setting correct expectations. So you can check it online. I think it's how to deal with lack of results. Yeah, it's how to deal with lack of results. So you can look that up on my YouTube channel, or I'll put the link to the article below. Check that out right after this video though. Now that all that is out the way, start without knowing how to start. You feel like shit. You hate your life. You don't want to wake up and get out of bed in the morning. That's what procrastination makes you feel like. And this is what I mean by short-term action. Planning long-term gives you the confidence and time to make it work, but acting short-term gives you the ability to encounter those initial roadblocks and know where your blind spots are. Building the life of your dreams is how you start to chip away at the infinite love the universe has to offer. Something magical happens when you align your actions and decisions with the pool of life we like to call curiosity. You aren't giving it your all, and you know it. We just went over everything about why you should actualize your dream life, but maybe you've already been doing it. Or maybe you've been thinking about it, but you're stuck in second or third gear. You know you could be doing more, but you're not doing more. You fear going all in, aka you fear the outcomes and the consequences. But I have to break it to you. The only way to live the good life and be aligned with the vision that you create for yourself is to throw yourself into the unknown. You have to break free of all these what ifs. What if Sarah thinks this? What if someone looks at me weird? What if it doesn't work? All those what ifs, throw them away. You don't need them anymore. Because 95% of what you think you care about doesn't actually matter. It doesn't have an actual impact on your day-to-day life. Or at least much less than you think it does. And at the end of the day, the alternative to failing at building your dream life is living the same life that you're living right now. There is no true consequence. Not only that, but when you stop fearing outcomes and you stop obsessing and being neurotic over them, your quality of everything goes up. Your decisions, your content, if you're a content creator and you should be, the food you eat, your lifestyle, everything goes up because instead of defining your life on the outcomes of something, you start acting with authenticity, and you act because you want to act, because you find pleasure and enjoyment in the tasks that you do, which you can't find pleasure in something when you're doing it for the outcome and only for the outcome. Even if it's a task that you actually enjoy, but you're still super neurotic about the result, you're gonna hate that task now, even though you would have enjoyed it if you were doing it for the actual experience of doing it. And you might think, yeah, but if I focus on the outcome, I can plan better, I can see more in the future, I can prepare myself for that potential outcome, I can align myself with that outcome. Yes, having a goal is awesome, but that just has to give you direction. It doesn't have to be, it shouldn't be the big picture. It shouldn't be the infinite game. This is just, again, direction, giving you path. It's not the main thing. The main thing is finding enjoyment in the pursuit of that goal. It's finding enjoyment in walking the path instead of expecting to be at the end of the path instantly. And funnily enough, this is very counterintuitive because you focus less on the results, but you get more results because you put more effort into what you do. I also want you to realize, back to that objection of yours where you were thinking that you're not a creative person or you're not good enough or whatsoever like that. I want you to realize that nobody is better than you. You might look up to someone, an actor, an entrepreneur, a successful creator, whatsoever, and think, wow, they are doing so good in life. I wish I was like them. I wish I thought like them. I wish I acted like them. I wish I made the same decisions as them. And that's the thing. It's all about decisions. They only succeeded in one more area than you. One single area. Maybe now that they succeeded in that area, it kind of spread into other areas of their life, like relationships, etc., etc. But initially, they only succeeded in one domain more than you, one single one, and the rest of their life was still exactly the same as yours. They are still human. They still have 24 hours in a day. They still have limited mental capacity. They still have family issues. They still have relationship issues. They still feel pain when they get bit by a spider. I don't know why that example, but you get the point. Finally, this is the last point of this video. I want you to build your ideal character with me right now. One thing I want you to realize that a lot of people do not realize is that your identity is not stuck in one place. You can change, you can be whoever you want to be, and no, this is not inauthentic. I would argue that being inauthentic is sticking with one type of identity that you do not want to have. If you're not happy with yourself, then change yourself. And this is a big belief that people have. They think that they are stuck in one place. They think their identity is set in stone. But if you think back to the mental estate, all your identity is an intertwined web of connected beliefs, ideas, experiences, and knowledge. You have control over all of that. Step one to changing your identity and shifting more towards someone that you want to be is realizing the infinite game that we're living in. I touched on this point a bit earlier on in the video, but I want to go a bit deeper here. You want to stop playing this game as if it has an end result. Most people do. Most people think, when I'll have this, I'll be living. When I have this, I'll be living. When this outcome happens, I'll be living. But no, you're living right now. You have everything right now. Your experience of reality will never change. It won't improve if you have something material, because all life is this. It's this lens of consciousness that you have. And that's where you should find joy in. Stop trying to find a passion and start trying to develop a passion for life itself. Instead of getting stuck on subsets and small parts of reality, see reality as one big experience. Instead of thinking, this task is annoying, this task is cool, this task is this task is that, see it as one big thing, because it's all the same underlying lens that you're doing the tasks from. Though yes, when you zoom out, it can get overwhelming because now you don't know where to go, you don't know what direction to go in, and you don't have anyone telling you what to do anymore. You're on your own terms, and that's hard. That is very hard because you're so used to people telling you what to do that you don't know what to do if you have to actually get stuff done yourself. And that's not a bad thing. It's just how society has been built. So the solution to that is what I said earlier. 1, creating content, and 2, having a goal and a vision to give you direction. Think of it like a video game. The video game, in an RPG and an open world game, you can go wherever you want, but the main storyline is broken down into quests, subquests, and missions to give you clarity over where to go. Because let's say you were playing a video game and there were no quests, there were no missions, and there were no whatsoever. You would just walk around and not know what to do. You wouldn't have a reason to walk around anymore. And this is the same in reality. You give yourself reason, you give yourself meaning, you create your own definition of what the good life is, and then you just do that. Step 2, I want you to analyze the game. I want you to look at your life right now, look at the skills that you really want to develop, that you have curiosity for. Look at parts of your life where you want new energy in it. You want to feel like a new person. You want to enjoy that task more. You want to, be a new person, have this new identity in that task. And write it out on a piece of paper. And yes, right now, literally pause this video, think about it, and write down these tasks that you want new energy in. Maybe it's writing, maybe it's recording, maybe it's dancing, maybe it's acting, maybe it's just at your normal 9-to-5 job, you want new energy in it. Think of that task and write it down. It could be multiple as well. Now you got that. Good. So we want to move on to step 3, where let's think back to the video game analogy, where now after the correct character selection, we're now in the place where you define your character's traits, abilities, and how he looks, and his special powers and shit like that. So on that same piece of paper, you want to define what the perfect person would be for you, what the perfect energy would be, how the person thinks when they're doing that task, maybe the strengths, the weaknesses, the interactions, how the person speaks, how the person is, his confidence, or her confidence. Basically, anything you can think of, any trait, go as detailed as possible. Any trait that you would want to have in this task or in your day-to-day life. Biggest thing here is to not hold back. And then, step 4. You want to play the game. As with all good things in life, it takes time, it takes repetition, and it takes struggle. Struggle is not bad. Failure is not bad. It's all a learning opportunity. You want to basically kind of fake it till you make it, but it's not really faking it. It's more you defined your dream character and you're starting to basically take decisions from that higher perspective. So you have your defined ideal self, and every time you face a decision or that task or something where you want that new energy in, you stop for a moment and you think, what would my ideal self do in this situation? At first, it might be a bit annoying. It might be like counterintuitive. It might feel unnatural or something, but that's normal. You're changing your entire perception of reality and your entire perception of self. It takes time and it takes effort, but it's so worth it because over time, you start making those decisions more naturally. You start entering that headspace of your ideal character more and more and more easily. This is how you act with intention and create your own reality. I know that's a bit woo-woo or whatsoever. A lot of people say, yeah, law of attraction, you can create your own reality whatsoever. But it's so mystified when they say that. It's like people, it sounds so dumb. But the actual definition of it and what this actually means is basically defining and deciding what you do from this higher perspective of your dream self. That's a wrap for today, but just to recap these last few points. 1. Realize the infinite game. Stop playing in small subsets. Realize that those are just direction. They're not the game, the big game itself. You have freedom and liberty. Step 2 is you want to find those tasks and those moments where you want new energy in. Maybe it's your entire life. If it's your entire life, then okay, it's your entire life. Step 3, you want to define the best traits for living that life or doing that task. And step 4, you want to make decisions from that perspective. You want to think to yourself, how would my best self act in this situation? What decision would he do? How would he act? How would he speak in this situation? What confidence would he have in this situation or she? And do that. Thank you for watching. I hope you got some value from this. It was really a fun one to record, and there's a lot more on this topic coming because I just love it so much. And I've put a lot of effort into it myself over the past year, 2 years, 3 years. I've done a lot of research over not just identity shifting, but just well-being in general and life enjoyment. And it's had the most incredible effect on me and my life. So I want to be able to share that with others. And I have a lot of, it means a lot to me to be able to share this. So I hope it helps. I'm excited for you to get into this and to follow everything in here. And then I hope to see you very soon. As usual, I love you. Peace.